So whether this fight is going to happen or not, here's my viewpoint on it. The minute this fight is announced, there's two trains of thought. Train of thought number one is that if Jake Paul is fighting anybody, they are going to take a dive. The fight is fixed. That doesn't help when we look at Jake Paul's fight against Mike Tyson, where he hardly threw a punch, and when he did throw a punch at Jake, Jake stuck his tongue out and basically whispered into Mike's ear more or less and said, "You're blowing the bag." Well, that's what it would seem like, because Mike came out with the intention to hurt Jake, and it seemed to me that after that point in time, Mike started holding back his punches because there were opportunities for Mike to throw punches, because Mike has trained for so many years how to slip shots and how to get inside, and you're taught as a boxer, when you slip and you get inside, you let your hands go. So you could see Mike having to actually bite his glove to stop him throwing the right hand, because instinctively, after all these years you trained, you slip and you let your right hand go, or you slip and you let your left hook go, or you slip or you counter. That's instinctive in a boxer, or a fighter's instinct, particularly someone like Mike Tyson, who'd been trained hours and hours, years and years of constantly doing the same thing over and over again. Slip, slip, bang, slip, slip, bang, slip, slip, bang, slip. And suddenly you got slip, slip, hold. So you have to bite your glove. Anyway, that's Jake Paul. And then the Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., whatever that was all about, fight. So now we have end steps AJ, Anthony Joshua. And I know a lot of people think that if AJ hits Jake Paul, he'll fall over. Yeah, but the Ngannou fight, don't get me started on that fight. Ngannou said he wasn't feeling right from the beginning of the fight. He didn't feel right. He felt he was drugged. Could it have happened? Quite possibly, because Ngannou came and turned up against Tyson Fury and embarrassed Tyson Fury. And I don't think Turkey particularly liked the fact that Ngannou came and did what he did. So brought him back against Anthony Joshua to put Ngannou back in his place. That's what it would seem like to me. I could be completely wrong. So as for this AJ situation, in my opinion, well, not in my opinion, even from what I've seen, obviously that contract he signed, that lifetime contract he signed with Matchroom, that means they own him, which means AJ's more or less a slave. If we're saying that he's got a lifetime contract with that company, I'm not saying that, but that's what lifetime contract. I don't know how many fighters in the world have got a lifetime contract. If you've got that's your golden goose. That's the guy that's going to make you millions upon millions upon millions. Why would you stick him in the ring with Tyson Fury? Because once Tyson Fury batters him, that's the end of that. Can't sell that to the public anymore. So the whole Wilder situation, didn't want to stick him with Wilder, because if Wilder had ruined him, not good. We saw the effects of how Andy Ruiz ruined Joshua's his whole demeanor, right? Destroyed his whole demeanor. So from that fight, Joshua never really recovered from the Ruiz fight. He got beat up by Ruiz. He got beat up by Usyk. He got destroyed by Daniel Dubois. Some people say he threw the fight because he doesn't want to fight again. And he's got these long periods of not wanting to fight. Long periods of inactivity. And I know that there are fighters in the past that don't fight and have long periods of inactivity to run the clock down in their careers because they just don't want to fight anymore. They don't have the ambition to fight anymore. And if you're in a slave contract, you're then forced to fight. You don't decide when you fight. You are forced to fight. You're told you will fight at this venue, at this place, at this time. Get yourself in shape. You're fighting again. So how much control does AJ have his career? I don't know. Again, this is all speculation. But I'm just saying that if this was the case, and he was in that slave contract, then so this Jake Paul fight comes round. Think about it. If you know you can't get that Tyson Fury fight, or that Tyson Fury fight is out of reach, and you're not going to make 200 million, or you're not going to make 100 million in that fight, right, against Fury, because you got beat up by, you got knocked out by Dubois. You haven't fought for a while. You're gonna have to fight an undercard. In fact, you have to fight an undercard, and Tyson Fury can still fight top of the bill. It says you're not gonna be able to command the same amount of money. Now, if you go and fight Jake Paul, 100 million plus on Netflix, well, you know, if you just play the game and you fall over, get some more money thrown on top, your career is already at the end of your career, 100 million plus. Jake Paul can make his career skyrocket, and you get 100 million in the bank plus whatever else you get on Netflix, and you sail into the sunset. Remember, as far as I'm concerned now, boxing in this era isn't about legacy. Forget it. It's not about legacy. I said this before in a video. It's not about legacy. And all these people who are up in arms, oh, it's terrible if AJ fights Jake Paul. No, it's not. No, it's not. Not in this era. It's not about legacy. It's about entertainment and making as much money as possible for the promoters. Pay-per-view. It's about making money for the promoters, right? It's not about the fans. Not about their legacy, right? Even the whole thing with Ben and Eubank was off the legacy of the fathers. But once that's done, that's done. But legacy itself, they don't care about legacy no more. They don't care about legacy. They don't care about weight divisions. They don't really care. So when you look at guys like Crawford, guys like that, they're going to be less guys like that. And because the guys that fight now will take huge risks, have shorter careers, because they'll be in back-to-back big fights. And the way it looks is that they'll be in back-to-back fights, and the way that the way they'd like things to be done, reversing the Muhammad Ali Act, means a lot of fighters will fight for less money and will earn more money by trying to get KOs in fights. I've said this before, I'll say it again, and I'll keep on repeating it. Hello. So I said this before, I'll say it again. I said it would not surprise me as well that if they start getting boxing rings that reduce in size. So as for AJ, if you got knocked out by Jake Paul, the promoter gets a hell of a lot of money. Joshua can now retire from boxing because he's completely done. He's finished. There's nothing to offer the sport anymore. The slave would have made the money back, whatever money they've invested in him and more. So he's washed up. He can go, and they would have got the money back. And Jake Paul can now move on and do whatever he's doing in his career. That's the kind of way I see it. I don't see how it works out. Jake Paul getting in the ring and getting blasted out by Joshua in a round. I just don't see it happening. I can't see it. Well, he could do it. He could do it, but unlikely. Because it doesn't make money sense. It doesn't make money sense. What could happen is that Jake Paul could win the first fight, and they could do a rematch and make another 100 million on top of that. Some sort of controversial stoppage. You've seen it done before. So for me, the fact that people asked, first thing, any Jake Paul fight, is it fixed? And the fact that they could possibly see Jake Paul beating Joshua based on the fact that, well, Joshua didn't look great against Dubois. And Joshua never looks great against a guy who comes forward and throws punches and will put him against the ropes. So, I don't know. I don't know what to think anymore of boxing, I really don't know what to think anymore. It's just not in the era no more that you can trust anything. Because, well, there's an extra buck to be made versus integrity. I think they're going to go for the extra buck. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, and leave your comments as always. This has been BWTM Sports Gaming, and I'm out. Take care.